Hi there, Chris from TotallyEV, and here we're doing a dedicated audio review of the Polestar 2, which comprises of a 13-speaker Harman Kardon system. Now, if you'd like a more detailed review of the vehicle itself, do check it up on your pop-up banner or indeed on our website down below. Now, if you do like this video, give it a like, subscribe and hit that bell notification to see more videos from the channel. And of course, do follow us on social media so you can keep up with the latest news and reviews from TotallyEV. Now, to kick things off, let's talk about audio configuration, and it's a little bit of a complex one. Having looked at the Polestar 2 schematics, I can say that it's got 11 speakers within the cabin and 2 outside of it. So going through it, you've got a mid-range driver found within each of the 4 doors. You've got tweeters found one on each A-pillar and one on each of the rear doors. You've got an air-powered subwoofer at the front. You've got a center speaker as well with a Harman Kardon branding. You've got a physical subwoofer including the amplifier in the boot, and you've got 2 external speakers, one of which is used for reversing and the other one is used for indicating to pedestrians that you are coming in. Now, combined they output 600 watts, which is pretty impressive for an all-electric vehicle and one that competes at this class. Now, for you to tailor these speakers to your liking, you can do so through the infotainment system. Now, there's a sound experience tab which allows you to have the sound optimization towards the driver, all or at the rear. In my case, I left it at all because I want everyone to enjoy it, or indeed have a bit more of a kind of surround sound experience. And then you've got the surround tab. Now, the surround tab integrates a Logic 7.1 surround system and in my opinion kind of hinders the overall sound quality. So I actually left it disabled altogether. Of course, you might disagree and find your settings vary from mine. So of course, do let me know in the comments section below. Going from there, we've got the tone and equalizer tab, and it's really lovely to see a 9-band equalizer that's been integrated via the advanced equalizer function. Now, of course, you don't have to use that. You can use the basic treble, bass and subwoofer adjustments, but in my case, I actually tailored it, and you'll be able to see on your screen in terms of the EQ that I used. Ultimately, I reduced the sub and lower end tones and increased the mid-range tones just a little tad to give a little bit more of a forward sound. Now, elsewhere through the infotainment system, you have got a volumes tab where it allows you to adjust the level of audio that comes through, let's say for a notification, voice commands, or let's say the cross traffic alert. However, I didn't find an option through over here where I could ultimately disable the audio dipping. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, each time you come to a standstill with the Polestar 2, the audio volume lowers a little bit. And I think this has been done for kind of a safety feature because the car is quite quiet and for you to kind of listen to your surroundings. But I found it quite distracting, specifically someone who likes to listen to music. I found it a little bit annoying where each time it came to a standstill, the audio would dip, and as soon as I would roll off again, the audio would rise again. And I just didn't like this constant fluctuation of volumes. Now, there might have been a setting that I've missed, and of course do let me know in the comments below. But if I do find a solution to this, or indeed if Polestar have a solution, I will link it down in the description below, or indeed of course add it as a caption. Now, infotainment aside, let's get on to a little bit of a sound demo. What I'm going to do is place the camera and microphone in 4 separate locations and go through the surround sound mode. So do check out for the annotations down below to give you an indication as the mode it's running on. And of course, it won't give you a lifelike reproduction because it's going to be compressed over YouTube and via my microphone, which isn't exactly the most accurate thing in the world, but it'll give you kind of a taster as to how it sounds. The song we'll be using is from Priya J. It's titled Falling, and if you're interested in it, do check it down in the description below. And of course, give her a like and subscribe if you do like her music.
It's the only way I know how to play this game to success. I'm not quite yet. When I reach the brink, don't stop falling from so high. The thing is, my imagination is constantly racing 1,000 miles ahead, living in my own mind. Next thing you know, I'm crawling, I am crawling way back, falling from so high, falling so high, so high. Time, I'll get what's mine. Just try to feel my right. dreamer. Young and should hide, then learn how to fly. It's the only way I know how to play this game to success. Quite sustained yet. When I reach the don't stop to think. I always sing my way back to falling from so high, falling from so high. The thing is my imagination is racing 1,000 miles ahead. I'm living in my own. Next thing you know, I'm crawling, I am crawling my way back, falling from so high, falling from high, so high. It's a matter of time, I'll get what's mine. Just ride up to my ride. Don't waste your time telling me what to do, 'cause I won't be. Yes, I'm stubborn like listen to my track. So call me a dreamer.
Now, with that sound demo out of the way, let's get on to my subjective opinion. And what I will say is that overall, the system is phenomenal. So breaking it down, let's talk about these sub-bass frequencies. Here you've got a combination of the air-powered subwoofer at the front of the vehicle and a physical subwoofer in the rear. The combination produces a fantastic overall low-end experience, one that can be definitely felt and heard throughout the cabin. As for the mid-bass tones, they're not only controlled and tight, but they give you that low-end kind of shunt and bass in your face that you will definitely appreciate for those people who are listening to more bass-driven music. And in this respect, it should be very much commendable because a lot of its competitors won't offer the same sort of precision in the mid-bass tones and instead opt for somewhat of a little bit of an over-bloated mid-bass. So here, Harman Kardon have done a phenomenal job. Now, as for the mids, I did find them a slight bit recessed, whereby I added a few notches to the 2 kHz band. Here it just brought out the mid-range a little bit more forward and therefore made vocals sound a little bit more, well, lifelike. So for example, on Priya's track, her voice came out a little bit clearer with that little EQ added on. Of course, your mileage may vary depending on the music that you listen to. Ultimately, what I'm trying to say over here, while it is a touch recessed, it is still very impressive to say the least, and one that will definitely excite a lot of consumers' ears. Now, as for the highs, I did tailor them by a few notches in terms of the 16 kHz band. Of course, your mileage may vary depending on how well you can hear past this frequency range, but in my opinion, I just felt that it added a bit too much extra zinc. Still, nevertheless, the highs are really well done, and they do extend really well at the top end. And finally, onto the Soundstage, there's some pros and cons, because there is a fantastic instrument separation that can be heard throughout the cabin, specifically given the fact that you've got these 11 or 13 speakers that Harman Kardon provide. But in terms of the overall width and depth, I feel that it's a little bit closed. It's a bit too intimate, and I think they could have really optimized that sort of width. Now, don't get me wrong, you can go through the EQ section and go for the sound experience and add the surround sound option and give this kind of virtual 7.1 surround sound. But this really does hinder the overall sound quality that you get from the system itself, and means that you're not going to get the best out of the system with the surround sound mode enabled. Imagine, if you will, if you have a gaming headset, you enable the 7.1 Dolby sound in comparison to the regular stereo sound that you get, you will probably often lead yourself in terms of an audiophile point of view going for the surround sound option in comparison to this fake 7.1 surround sound option, which really hinders the overall mid-bass and the mid-range frequencies to the nth degree, whereby it completely butchers them. So of course, that's just my opinion, and what I'm trying to say over here and what I'm trying to really get across to you via the video is the fact that I wish that there was a little bit of a better width and depth that came across via the use of so many audio drivers that are comprised within the cabin. So on the whole, what do I make about the audio system that's comprised within the Polestar 2? Well, quite frankly, it comes included for free, and despite that fact, is a phenomenal audio system that audiophiles and of course non-audio enthusiasts will definitely appreciate, specifically if you compare it to some of its rivals. As a result, it gets my my Best Buy award. Even though you can't actually buy it, it is definitely one of the best audio systems I've come across in an all-electric vehicle, and one that you should definitely look into if you are an audiophile. Of course, that's just my experience and my thoughts about it, so I'd be intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And of course, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification to see more videos from the channel, and favourite and share if you feel that this video will be helpful to a family and friend. Alright, I've been Chris from TotallyEV. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.